Before this video ends, you'll see evidence that proves history wasn't just written by the victors, it was edited. We're taught a specific story about our past, a neat and tidy timeline of human evolution and civilization. But what if there's a missing chapter? A part of the story so unbelievable, so profound, that it was deliberately erased. Today, we re-diving deep into one of history's greatest enigmas, the mystery of the Nephilim. The story begins in the most ancient of texts, the book of Genesis. It speaks of a time when the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took them as wives. From these unions, a new race was born. Genesis chapter 6 verse 4 says, "The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown." So, who were these sons of God? Many ancient traditions interpret them not as human, but as celestial beings, angels who descended to earth. Their offspring, the Nephilim, were therefore a hybrid race, part celestial, part human. The word Nephilim itself is often translated as the fallen ones, or more tellingly, giants. Imagine a world, long before the pyramids, before the first cities we know of, a world roamed by giants. These weren't just tall people. Ancient texts describe them as colossal beings of immense size and strength. The Book of Numbers compares them to grasshoppers in stature. Think about the impact such beings would have on early human societies. They were called heroes of old, men of renown, suggesting they were powerful rulers, warriors, and builders. But their legacy isn't one of gentle giants. Other ancient texts, like the Book of Enoch, which was once considered scripture, paint a much darker picture. They describe the Nephilim as consuming all of humanity's resources, and when those ran out, they began to devour humans themselves. They taught forbidden knowledge, warfare, and brought corruption to the world, creating an era of chaos and terror. This all sounds like myth and legend, right? The kind of stories you tell around a campfire. But what if there's physical evidence? For centuries, stories have surfaced about the discovery of giant skeletons all over the world. Newspapers from the late 19th and early 20th centuries are filled with accounts of enormous human remains being unearthed, some reportedly measuring 9, 12, even 18 feet tall. For instance, in 1895, a report from County Antrim, Ireland, described the discovery of a fossilized giant over 12 feet tall. In the 1930s, amateur archaeologist Ralph Glidden claimed to have found dozens of giant skeletons on Catalina Island, California. These accounts often end the same way. The skeletons are sent to a museum or a scientific institution like the Smithsonian, and then they just disappear, vanish from the public record. Mainstream archaeology dismisses these stories as hoaxes or misinterpretations of animal bones. But the sheer volume and consistency of these reports from different times and places make you wonder, is it possible that evidence of a giant race has been systematically collected and hidden from public view? Beyond bones, let's look at the world around us. We are surrounded by megalithic structures that we still can't fully explain. Places like Baalbek in Lebanon, where the foundation stones weigh over 1,000 tons each. To this day, we don't have a crane capable of lifting and placing such stones with that precision. How did ancient people, supposedly with primitive tools, achieve this? Could these massive, impossible structures be the true legacy of the Nephilim, the work of beings with strength and knowledge far beyond our own? When you look at the scale of places like Pumapunku in Bolivia, with its intricate, laser-like cuts in solid granite, you have to ask, who built this and how? Is it easier to believe that early humans suddenly developed incomprehensible technology, or that they had help from someone or something far more powerful? The legends say the Nephilim were the great builders of the ancient world, Maybe the evidence has been staring us in the face all along. So if these giants existed, where did they go? The story takes another dramatic turn. According to the same ancient texts, the corruption and violence brought by the Nephilim became so great that the Creator decided to cleanse the earth. This led to the Great Flood, a cataclysmic event described in cultures all over the world, not just in the Bible. The flood was meant to wipe the slate clean, to destroy the Nephilim and reset the course of humanity. The story of Noah's Ark is the most famous account of this event, a tale of survival against a world-drowning deluge. The purpose of the flood, in this context, wasn't just to punish wicked humanity, but to specifically eliminate the unnatural hybrid race of giants that was corrupting it. But did it work? Genesis 6:4 gives a tantalizing clue. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward. This suggests that somehow, some of them survived the flood. The Bible mentions giants again later on. The famous story of David and Goliath is just one example. Goliath was a descendant of the giants of Gath. King Og of Bashan was another. His bed was described as being over 13 feet long. It seems the giant problem wasn't solved in one fell swoop. The battles between humans and the remaining giants continued for centuries, a long, drawn-out war for control of the planet. This brings us to the biggest question of all. If any of this is true, why isn't it in our history books? Why is it relegated to the realm of myth? This is where we get into the idea of a cover-up, a deliberate editing of our past. Imagine the implications if it were proven that a race of celestial human hybrids once walked the earth. It would completely shatter our understanding of human origins, religion, and our place in the universe. It would challenge the very foundations of modern science and history. Could it be that powerful institutions have worked for centuries to suppress this knowledge, to maintain the simple, clean narrative we're all taught in school? By dismissing giant skeletons as hoaxes and ancient myths as pure fiction, the status quo is maintained. The mystery remains buried, just like the bones themselves. The story of the victors, modern humanity, is the only one that gets told. So, we are left standing at a crossroads of history and myth. We have ancient texts from multiple cultures describing a race of giants born from gods and mortals. We have newspaper articles and eyewitness accounts of enormous skeletons being discovered, only to vanish without a trace. We have colossal, inexplicable ancient structures that defy modern engineering. And we have the enduring mystery of a global flood and a potential historical cover-up on a massive scale. Is it all just a collection of coincidences, misinterpretations, and tall tales? Or are we looking at the faint echoes of a forgotten chapter of human history? A time when giants walked the earth and the line between heaven and earth was blurred. The evidence is there, fragmented and suppressed, but it exists. The choice of what to believe is yours. History, as it turns out, might be much stranger and much more epic than we ever imagined. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the past. If you found this mystery as fascinating as we do, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. What do you think about the Nephilim? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep questioning everything.